I agree. I disagree. I agree. I disagree. So we live in a society, according to the Joker, we live in a society where we have conversations, where we disagree, we agree. Some are prone to not like that you disagree with them. Some are okay. Most people, in terms of sociology, they tend to gravitate towards people that agree with them, and vice versa, right? That's kind of how we start creating communities. And if you take it to the extreme, you create cults, and so on and so forth, right? Now, interestingly enough, Neville uses the word consent a lot in his work. And he uses this in relationship to your life experiences are the things that you consent to, the beliefs, the states, right? The body of beliefs that you, nobody else, not your neighbor who's shouting at you, not the boss at work who doesn't like the way you're working, you, right? Not your spouse who is completely bored of the marriage. Whatever it is, you're consenting to certain things. But here's the crazy cool etymology or word origin of the word consent. So from the Latin, you get the word con, which is together, and then sentire, which means to feel. This is very important because what does Neville say? Feeling is what? The secret. Now we're going to go into that in a second, because if you've never heard that, or if you've already heard that and you think he's talking about feeling, it's not correct. But con, together, sentire, I feel. You are literally saying, I am in the consciousness of somebody who feels blank, whatever it is, right? Well, obviously not blank, because then you feel blank. But if you're like, I am in the consciousness of feeling rich. I am in the consciousness of feeling beautiful. I am in the consciousness of feeling loved. Whatever that is, you are consenting or agreeing, not just agreeing though, you're agreeing with your feelings, right? Because that's what the word consent means. This is why I think it's extremely powerful that out of all the words in the lexicon, Neville chooses the word consent. Because yes, it means to agree. That's where we've got it to mean now. But when you break it down from the word origin, I think it's more powerful because it ties in better with this thing called the mystical law, right? The magical law, whatever words you want to call the law, right? But really, ultimately, at the end of the day, and a lot of people forget this, you are the law. You aren't separate from the law, right? So you are operating it. This is what Neville means when he says you are the operating power. You're operating it whether you know it or not, which really means you are the law. You and the law are integrated. There's no separation. That's why whether you know it or not, whether you're listening to this and you walk away and say, I don't agree to any of this. Okay, which by the way, you've just not consented to something, right? And so, which is fine. So at the end of the day, though, we're always consenting to something. Even when we're consenting to nothing, we're consenting to something, right? And so we have to be aware of what we're consenting through day in and day out. Now, to a lot of people, they hear this and they're like, damn, that's exhausting. Like, does that mean I have to watch my thoughts and my feelings and emotions? Now, that's going to be different depending on whatever teacher or coach or person that you run into, okay? Because some people say, yes, you have to watch every thought. Some people say, no, it's your dominant thoughts, which means you're kind of like thoughts that you default in, and that's where I stand, right? And so, you know, for me, though, the word consent is extremely powerful because even if you take it even into another realm, right? Meaning like, you know, the way in which we use consent today is even in contractual terms. We use that word very contractually, right? And so when you go and get a job, you consent by signing your signature. When you go to the doctor, you consent by signing your signature. You're going to say you're going to pay the bills, right? You are giving up, not even giving up. You're saying I'm taking on responsibility for, right? And that's what this is it, right? This is what Neville's trying to get us to realize, right? When he says that when we consent to things, and we're always consenting to things, we're always agreeing to things, it's like we are signing on the dotted line, right? And it may not be our name, but the way that we're signing on the dotted line is with our emotions, okay? And so that is how we begin to unravel or unwrap or deconstruct or disbelieve or move on from the limiting beliefs. We realize, okay, I've agreed to some stuff. I've signed on with my emotions. Now I've got to unsign on, right? I've got to actually erase and use whiteout, right? And that's what forgiveness is, okay? Even Even Joseph Murphy says, prayer is the ultimate anti-venom to karma, right? And he doesn't say it exactly like that, but that's really what he's saying is that, and remember, what is prayer? Prayer is assumption. It means I'm assuming I'm already that which I want to be. I am the house owner. I am the car owner. I am already the person who's married. Whatever it is that you desire, you're it. That's it. There isn't a waiting for it. It's here, you're always it. Now. That's it. This is always now. No past, no present, just now. Okay? So, and you're always taking things in with you. So if you have a childhood memory, you're consenting to that memory. Yes, you can change it, right? And when you change it, it changes you. So be that person now. Okay? If you were rejected as a child, what would it mean for you to walk in the bodily acceptance of being accepted and starting reacting emotionally and mentally from that state? What does that look like for you? Start playing that role, because that's really what this is. We're all just playing roles, right? We're dipping in and out of states, okay, which is just a body of beliefs. And so how do we do this? Well, when you're trying to explore what's going on because this is all about the inner game, right? When you're trying to understand this from that perspective and you realize that you're consenting to things, well, then follow. Like, this is just a little small technique. Go throughout your day. Actually, 7 days would be the greatest challenge that you could do. That's also from the work of Emmett Fox. But if you can't, at least start with 12 hours, right? 12 hours, 24 hours, put a timer, whatever it is, right? Start watching your thoughts, watching your emotions, watching your interpretations, watching your reactions, right? Because every single one of those is going to lead you to a story that you're telling yourself about yourself. Okay, about what you deserve, what you shouldn't deserve, how you deserve it, why others have things, why you don't. All of these kinds of stories that are being wrapped up in your identity right now. Okay, and then you begin to, okay, that's where I'm at. But so how do I get from here to there? Well, again, this is all about embodying. Okay, that means you have to think of it more of like using the technique of like method acting, right? Or empathy. You have to, not sympathy, because sympathy means I feel bad for you. Empathy means I know exactly what you're feeling. So when you empathize with the character that you want to be, like if you empathize as a billionaire, you're not going to worry about not being able to pay a bill right now, right? Now, it doesn't mean that you don't do whatever you need to do in 3D. What it means is that you start understanding that you only now see the world from this new perspective. You empathize with it from every angle possible, right? And in every area of your life, not just in the financial. That's what the word persevere means. Persevere means to continue. What that means in the Hebrew esoteric language is you continue in every area of your life. So you're not a billionaire just financially. You're a billionaire who relates to other people in a loving way as a billionaire, right? You now relate to your friends as that billionaire. You now relate to driving your car as a billionaire. Everything about you now eeks, right? And oozes all of what it means to be a billionaire, or what it means to be married, what it means to feel safe in the world. Whatever it is that you're desiring, you begin bringing that into every facet and every area of your life. You live and breathe that, you become everything you've ever wanted.